welcome back to the TRT and Hormone Optimization YouTube channel. And back with us is Dr. Cash. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Hi, my friends. So let's talk today about causes of hypogonadism or low testosterone.
Yeah, I think it's an important topic because a lot of times you have patients who get diagnosed with having low testosterone, and then obviously they're going to need treatments, they're going to need TRT and so on, but then sometimes you have to take a step back and figure out what the underlying cause is first. And I think occasionally that part gets overlooked, having a diagnosis, especially when we see cases where the men have very low testosterone, severely low levels in some cases. And so usually we diverge it into primary hypogonadism, where the issue is with the testes themselves, and secondary hypogonadism, where the issue is coming up higher up near the brain and the pituitary, and sometimes some other causes as well. And so, with primary hypogonadism, there's some of the conventional causes like Klinefelter syndrome, having an extra X chromosome, where the patients are usually taller, smaller testes. We have usually lower sperm counts and so on. There's fertility challenges, and these patients usually will need lifelong treatment. There's other primary causes that you can acquire, such as if someone has radiation treatment, chemotherapy, trauma, torsion, surgery, various causes over their lifetime, unfortunately, if that happens. And some of these patients can do okay, but many of them down the road end up needing TRT. And so I think there's other things too, like varicocele and so on. I think, and then one cause that sometimes gets overlooked and underdiagnosed is age-related testicular dysfunction. So the latex cells in the testes over time can just not work as well as they used to. When a patient is 75, 80 years old, they don't have the same testicular function that they did at age 20, for example, and it's normal in the sense that it's sort of expected to happen over the course of a lifetime. But at the same time, these patients sometimes get misdiagnosed, and sometimes they have borderline low levels compared to, where they would have been in the past, for example, like 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. So I think from our standpoint on the physician side, I think having a good history, checking for things such as previous surgeries, previous trauma to the area. If someone had mumps, for example, in the past, a lot of these things can cause primary hypogonadism. And then other things like Klinefelter syndrome, believe it or not, are also underdiagnosed. And some patients end up having, low testosterone. They're just a little bit above the upper limit, maybe, on the lab ranges, but then they get told they're okay. But in some cases, these people actually have Klinefelter syndrome that just hasn't been picked up over until late into adulthood. And so then when they start to face fertility challenges, that's sometimes when it comes up. And so these are also people who will need generally a lifelong treatment as well. Yeah. And then I think we have a couple other, rare causes, genetic testicular failure, and hemochromatosis is kind of a dual primary, secondary hypogonadism. You have too much iron in the body. It can deposit up here in the pituitary. It can also sometimes deposit in the testes, cause damage to the testes, and lead to essentially primary hypogonadism, though usually more of a secondary cause.
Yeah. And for these primary causes, there's nothing else to do than to give TRT.
Yeah, they're going to need treatment. And I think in many of these cases, it's like, hey, this is going to need lifelong treatment. A patient has Klinefelter syndrome. There's no way around it. It's one of those things you can, they might be overweight. Yes, it could happen. Someone could be overweight. They're going to lose weight. They can have sleep apnea, but they're still going to need treatment at the end of the day. There's no way around that. It's a primary cause. So